Hello everybody, Iain, Robson, welcome back to Emerald Coast, USA. Today we are harvesting our, what is this here? Barley, it looks like. Let's verify that's barley, but it should be barley here. Number 2, yeah, definitely is. Perfect. So we're harvesting our barley here that we planted in the spring, I guess. It is currently 12:24. We're in the late summer now. It's amazing what happens when you progress one day. And bring that up, and we want to drop the straw. Enable straw swath. Yes, thank you. So, this is, it's funny how much quicker things move along with only 3 days in the season as opposed to 9 days. I thought about that. I'm like, okay, well, let's progress a day. And I'm like, okay, we're in the midsummer already. Right. And then I like progress one more day. I'm like, okay, late summer. Okay. But it's funny how fast it moves when you have a setup like that. You don't realize how fast it actually is until you you start, I don't know, I guess harvesting in what seems really early. But really it's not that early. It just seems that way. So just because it's, you know, you progress time one day and then you're like in the middle of the month, in the middle of the season already. So well, that's the way it goes, I suppose. Don't know how our cows are doing. I'm assuming they're doing okay. I don't know how much feed they actually lost. That lost a little bit there, but a little bit, I suppose. So we're gonna do a headland here real quick, and then we're gonna have. We should be able to finish this field relatively quickly. It's not a huge field. It's funny. I realize how big this. I realize how big the combine is in comparison to the head. The head looks tiny in comparison to the combine, like size-wise. It's a big head, but it's actually size-wise it looks tiny in comparison, for whatever reason. So it's kind of just a comical thing to look at. I'm being kind of inefficient here with the header. Yeah, this is I guess barley harvesting. I guess depends on what people do. One of my colleagues at work, her family, they plant barley and then harvest it as a green, I guess like a barley crop, and then harvest it green and then make it into silage bales. So it's kind of an interesting concept. I hadn't heard of that before. And then usually what they'll do is they'll get 2 crops off the fields, which is kind of neat. So they'll plant barley and then plant barley again, sort of idea. I don't know if they rotate or anything like that, but just thought it was kind of neat how they actually planted barley and used it, because a lot of people in my neck of the woods don't plant barley at all. Mainly because they're thinking of planting barley as a cereal crop for profit. And usually people who plant barley will use it just for the straw, primarily, because you don't make a whole lot of money off the actual grains itself. Because there's not a huge market for it. But there's a place, a time and a place, so to speak. So it's kind of interesting. When I found that out from her, I was kind of interested by the fact that they actually do that, because it is quite rare to find somebody who actually harvests barley. Oh, like I said, in my neck of the woods. Maybe where you live it's common. Let me know in the comments below. It's not super common where I live. We're not going to get all the way around here, are we? No. Of course we're not. Why would we? There we go. Give ourselves lots of space there. Let's head over there. We've got our Penta trailer. Once again, put a weight in the front of this tractor. Just felt like it needed a weight. With all the extra, with how big this trailer actually is, just decided to put a weight in the front. So I was like, we'll go with that. Hopefully it works out. Oh, I believe we were able to fill this trailer up last time without even using a weight, so I'm really not that concerned. It's funny, we had a tornado warning last night, which is pretty rare in my neck of the woods in Ontario. It happens every now and then, but it happened last night, so I got all prepared for it. So I brought my emergency supply bag out and my bug out bag. Some people might call it. I brought the bug out bag out and got a couple other things ready just in case, because you never know what's going to happen, right? So they always issue a warning, but you know, they issue a warning because it may or may not happen. So I got prepared for it just in the off chance it did. Looked up a couple of quick little things on the internet before went to sleep, you know, what to do in case of a tornado, because here you rarely get tornadoes, so it's always good to like think about, okay, what do I need to do? And it's go to the basement basically, under a table preferably, but or something strong that could withstand a beating, so to speak. There we go. Makes you wonder how those people in Tornado Alley down in the south actually do that. You know, I guess they have bunkers like kind of prepared for that kind of thing, because you know the likelihood of it happening there is a lot higher. But here, it's pretty rare. I know they've been like, I don't know what they call like funnel clouds, have like touched down, for example, or haven't used the word tornado specifically. They've used stuff like what's the other one I'm thinking of? A wind burst or something. I think it's what they used. So it's not always what would be classified as tornado, but it's, you know, there's something to create enough, you know, potential damage there in that scenario. So I don't know, quite an interesting evening for that, at least. There we go. Finish off that first headland there. Make the turn. There we go. I have to do a second headland, I think. It's funny, if I do a second headland, I'm going to be half done the field already. It's definitely not going to take much, that's for sure. There we go. Let's grab this truck here, or tractor I should say. And get it set up, so I don't have to continually chase after my combine. Just have the one tractor just going back and forth doing its thing. We're close enough to the home farm here, so I'm not going to set up a overload or anything like that. Let's see here, what's going to be the best way to do this? Probably like this. Turn here. There we go. Start recording the course here. From in the field. Cross over here. I don't know, you're really not in this particular setup, you're not that far, and even though we're harvesting barley, it probably won't be enough to even worry about having an overloader and a truck and all that jazz. It'll just be quicker to have it all set up in the one spot. There we go. Empty that out there, might as well, while we're here. Good. And drive straight. There we go. That reset point's kind of in an awkward spot because that's where it, you know, you kind of, I just drove right past it at least. Like, it depends on the tractor, I think. Some tractors would have no problem making that turn, but this one I believe does. Let's just end that over here on this side. Kind of pointing towards where it needs to go, and that was F2. F2, unload, check, manually. We have one comment anyway, so perfect. Okay, that should allow us to finish this field off. relatively quickly. I don't have a whole lot of time left. It's funny how much time you end up having in the mornings versus, well, how much time it seems like you have in the morning when in fact you actually don't. Like, I don't know, I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. Every time, like, I'll wake up, make my lunch, you know, work out a little bit, and then by the time I finish my breakfast, it's like, okay, well, I need to start recording for YouTube, and then it's like, depending what happens, if my computer's not on, I need to get it started up, and sometimes that can take longer than you want it to. The trials and tribulations of things like that, eh? Let's put the pipe out here so this guy recognizes where he's supposed to be. I probably could have even put a bigger header on this, I think. This is like the 45-foot header. And I could probably put... an even bigger one on, I think. Alright, let's make this turn. It's going to turn with us anyway, so... that works out for us. Perfect. Horseplay isn't always that elegant making turns like that, but you know, this time it was, thankfully. Nice. Okay, I don't know if I'm not sure if I've ever seen barley seed before in real life. Like what's harvested, I guess. The grain, I should say, would be a better way of describing it. I may have seen, I'm sure I've seen wheat before, but I'm not so sure about barley. I'll have to keep an eye out for that next time I'm at the farm show. See what they have there for something like that. I'm sure they have competitions for barley and wheat and stuff like that too. Usually there's a hay competition, so for like the 4-H groups to see, you know, who makes the best hay sort of thing. You know, for a whole bunch of different reasons basically. There we go. I do like this combine. It's a nice looking combine on the inside and the outside, which is nice. Because oftentimes it's only nice on one side, not the other side. So it'll be nice on the outside, but not the inside. Whereas this one's looks good both ways, so which is good for us. Because there aren't many combines like that. There used to be one, I think it was in 15. There used to be a set of combines that was made by, I think, a Brazilian guy, I want to say it was. And he made really nice combines, and those are like the standard for John Deere combines at that time. I guess right now, this is probably the standard for John Deere combines at the moment. And then when they actually come out, when the S-Series comes out in FS19, then that'll be the new standard. I imagine that'll be pretty hard to beat, just because it will be done by giants. And if we take FS17 as an example, you can only imagine that the quality is going to be at that or higher in 19, so I'm pretty excited. Finish off that little section there. Back up here. Good. Let's get that started there. Of course you'd be slipping. There we go. It'll be pretty close, actually. See if we can't get a nice little screenshot here. There we go. Or maybe even this side here. Nice. You can take some pretty nice screenshots in this game if you actually, if you get a little crazy. I know, I never get too crazy doing screenshots, but I know you can, so. Anyways, folks, that's all the time I have for today. My name's Iain Robson. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for some more Remote Coast USA. I'll catch you guys later.